Right? Sometimes we just should give it a go and try.
Google Maps is the most widely used mapping service in the world, but unknown to many, it was actually invented in Australia. My name is Ruby Kogan, and I'm on a mission to show the world how a great Australian, Noel Gordon, has greatly impacted the world with his invention. We will explore what inspired and what drove him to make the most widely used mapping service in the world, Google Maps. Do many Australians even know that Google Maps was an Aussie invention?
Was Google Maps invented in America?
No, how about you?
No, I don't know either. I mean, I thought Google was in America.
I'm guessing Google Maps was invented in America.
I would probably say Google Maps was invented in America as well.
I guess it was Americans. The Americans invented Google Maps.
I'm guessing it's America, but I'm going to say maybe Australia as well.
Good job, it was Australia! Google Maps was invented in Australia.
Oh, really?
In Australia,
That's fantastic.
wow.
What do you like about Google Maps?
I like Google Maps because I can be in any country and I can find where I need to go.
It's very well connected with the public transport, so it shows all the connections, the fastest route, and so it's quite easy and it's quite useful.
I think my favourite thing about Google Maps is you can push the little blue arrow and it tells you what direction you're facing. Because you never know which way you're going sometimes.
My favourite thing about Google Maps is it helps me not to get lost in Sydney.
So it's clear to see that many people know and use Google Maps, but not many actually know it was invented in Australia. Google Maps is a web mapping service developed by Google. It was created by 4 people: Noel Gordon, Stephen Ma, Lars and Jens Rasmussen, who ran a small company called Where2 Technologies. In 2004, Where2 Technologies was acquired by Google, where the name was changed to Google Maps. Google Maps was officially launched in February 2005. I was given the opportunity to interview Noel Gordon at the Sydney Google office. Before asking him about Google Maps, I wanted to know more about his history, what inspired him to make Google Maps. I want to start at the beginning. Can you tell me about your childhood and what did you like to do?
I like to milk cows. I grew up on a dairy farm, and so one of the chores of a dairy farm every day is in the morning and in the evening you must milk the cows. I think that was fundamental to my later career in that, like all children, you follow your dad around while he's doing things, and my dad was a farmer, so he was constantly fixing things. And so we were always asking, what does this tool do and what does that, and he'd put that down, and we'd be playing with a hammer or whatever thing. But over a period of time I realised later in my life that my father had taught me how to fix anything using anything that's available just in your little area. That was a wonderful characteristic he taught me.
So I read about you losing your job in San Francisco. Can you tell me about that period of your life?
That was what was called the tech wreck. That was about 2001, and pretty much every engineer that was working, half of them got put out of work at that time. That's when I lost my job, and I came back to Australia, and eventually I got a job in a factory sweeping floors because there was no work in my field at the time.
How did you learn how to run a business through sweeping floors?
Okay, it's a great question because, you have to start somewhere. I can't start at the top of that business because I obviously don't know anything about fabric cutting, but I had to learn something about how to cut fabric. And in the end, I did learn how to cut fabric, and I learned to do it on a computerised machine that was worth about $500,000. And it's a very complicated little machine, and it's all driven by computer and software. In that fabric business, I learned a lot about running my own business and what's important, what's not important, how to stay focused on the jobs we're trying to achieve at that time. So later on, when we decided to be a startup and start our own company, I was quite ready to run my own business at that time. I knew exactly what needed to be done.
Who were the original founders of Google Maps?
You remember how you asked me about my job when I lost my job in San Francisco? Well, the day after, Jens Rasmussen lost his job. And a few months later, Lars Rasmussen lost his job. We're all out of work and needing something to do, and it's the tech wreck. And the other engineers you could ask, they have families and responsibilities and mortgages, and they weren't too keen on doing a startup. Lars contacted me and started talking about maps. And then I got Stephen involved and we went over the idea. We thought about all the things that could prevent us from succeeding. Was it a good idea? Who could be our competitors and so on? And we eventually just said, yes, we will do it.
When Noel and Stephen finally agreed to work with Lars and Jens, the two brothers moved from Denmark to Sydney, where Noel's house was. After a year of hard work, the four of them sold their company to Google. I interviewed Lars Rasmussen over Skype so that he could explain to me what happened next. Why did you decide to sell your company to Google?
Honestly, it was because it was our only remaining option, short of going completely broke. and I say that, truthfully, but it turned out to be a magic thing. It defined our career, it made names for ourselves, and obviously produced a very popular product.
We found Google to be very similar to us. Small teams working well together, doing something that would have potentially changed the world. The same sort of attitudes we had to software development, the same sort of attitudes to getting work done. And it was just a natural platform for us to do what we had intended to do from the beginning.
And of course, we were huge fans of Google. I mean, everyone, even back then, Google was the shining knight of technology, and at a time when technology was generally not doing well.
I don't know about you, but when first people saw Google Maps, I'm not sure whether it was just the look of the maps that people thought, wow, or the fact that they moved, in a web browser. I don't know which was more compelling, but I think our approach to design was that it had to be functional, but it also had to be beautiful. But when we launched Google Maps, do you remember what it looked like?
I was 2.
You were 2. Okay, so you don't remember what it was like. Okay, let me tell you what it was like. Okay, we have an infinite blue sea. Imagine that. And right in the middle, we put the contiguous United States. And then we launch it.
That was all on the map?
That was all it was. It was just the contiguous United States, not even Alaska, not even Hawaii, just the states. One go, we just said, we're launching Google Maps today, there's an infinite blue sea and the United States are sitting in the middle, and that's it. And somebody said, where's England?
Where's Australia?
Where's Australia? We didn't quite have time to do Australia yet, or England, or Europe, or in fact all the rest of the world.
We actually think that a lot of Google Maps' success is because the maps were prettier than the other maps you could get online at the time. And by prettier, it's not just that it's visually more appealing, but you can get more detail out of a map.
I think it had a combination of all those wow factors in one thing, because we paid attention to all the various details. We studied maps. What makes them good? What makes them poor? What do we need on a map? And what colour should we say the roads are? And what if it's a primary road? Or what colour should parks be? Which particular green should we pick? Yeah. We got all those different things together, just in the right way, just at the right time, just in the right place, just with a bit of luck, just with a bit of tenacity, and somehow we made it.
I really loved talking to Noel. I found him to be an incredibly inspirational person who truly loves what he does. NoelGordon went from living on a farm and being far away from all technology to building one of the most important apps of all time, Google Maps. He also has some wonderful words of advice for all of us.
I never in my wildest dreams believed we could get this far. And so if I want to tell you anything today, it's that if you have tenacity and if you have self-belief, it's amazing what you can achieve.
Thanks for watching my documentary. I believe NoelGordon is a great Australian. He's made a huge difference to our society by creating a product that billions of people use on a daily basis. He showed confidence and used all his willpower to create and build Google Maps. Noel first told me about the word tenacity when we were in our interview, and I didn't even know what the word meant. I've come to learn that Noel and his 3 co-founders, Stephen Ma and the brothers Lars and Jens Rasmussen, all had tremendous tenacity. They knew that completing this project and changing the way we use maps was going to require stubborn determination. He's someone that just wouldn't quit until he reached his goal.